Welcome to my weekly self-important Magic the Gathering show. This is another 32 pickup week. This time it's two Dimir decks and a Rakdos deck, and I'll open up some more if I get through these. The Rakdos deck was fully built when I opened it, but these two were not. I've just put in the lands, the mass disruption, the ramp, and the removal along with the commanders. We'll go through all of them. So the lands, mass disruption, ramp, and removal are the same for both of these decks, so I'm only going to go through them once. So we have another partner set. This is Ghost of Ramirez, DePietro. It is 2 and a blue for a 2/3 Spirit Pirate that says Ghost of Ramirez, DePietro can't be blocked by creatures with toughness 3 or greater, which is mildly interesting. It means he rigs his fights so that he always wins. They can be as strong as they want, but he's got to be able to take them out. Whenever Ghost of Ramirez DePietro attacks or deals combat damage to a player, choose up to one target card in a graveyard that was discarded or put there from a library this turn. Put that card into its owner's hand. So discarded or milled. So he's... If you consider that your hand in your library is supposed to be like your mind, he slightly heals sanity when he attacks. Then we have Tormod the Desecrator. Ghost of Ramirez DePietro is a legend retold. Tormod the Desecrator was from Commander Masters? CMR. Yeah, the first one when they had a whole bunch of partner stuff. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. So that's why I have them in the same deck. Because what we'll want to do is either discard or mill ourselves. Just like one card a turn. Get in for damage. And then create a zombie. This is a 3 and a black for a 4/2 zombie wizard. Then we go to the lands. Not a whole lot that's new. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary. I don't throw in a lot of decks. Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 3 or more islands. When Mystic Sanctuary enters the battlefield untapped, you may put an target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. So that is a card. Let's go all the way back here. That is a card, doesn't care what type. Leave your graveyard, we get a zombie. So as long as we have 3 islands in play, and obviously Tormod in play, we can get a zombie by returning an instant or sorcery from our graveyard to the top of our library. And Witch's Cottage. This is the same thing, but it's for creatures. Same thing as the Mystic Sanctuary or whatever it was called. And yep, Bluster Squall, Aetherize, Cone of Cold, Aether Spouts. Only 4 pieces of mass disruption because I couldn't think of more I wanted to put in. These have appeared in other episodes. Tap creature you don't control, or you can pay more to tap all creatures you don't control. Return attacking creatures to their hand. Tap down all of opponent's stuff with varying additional inputs. Aether Spouts, they pay one more mana, and instead of attacking creatures go to their hand, that goes to the top or bottom of their library. I wonder if the owner oh, it says 4 each. Okay. Reading the card explains the card. And then we have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Cold Steel Heart. Whoops. Dimir Signet. That's the, pay 1 into it, you get 2 out. Felwar Stone, Mind Stone, Sky Diamond, Talisman of Dominance, Iron Crag, Thought Vessel, Solemn Simulacrum. And then Pongify, Rapid Hybridization. Bitter Triumph I haven't put into a whole lot of decks. It's one that I recently learned existed. As additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card or pay 3 life. So that's a discard outlet for Ghost of Ramirez DePietro. But of course we got to make sure that we can get in for attack, so that's going to be important in a minute. And then destroy target creature or planeswalker, and there's something on my glasses. Get off of my glasses, you piece of dirt or whatever. You're distracting me. Go Throat, Heartless Act, Infernal Grasp, Reality Shift, Arc Enemy's Charm, that exile target creature or planeswalker. Or we can return 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers from our graveyard to our hand. Or put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature we control to give it lifelink until end of turn. We of course have it in for the first one. Withering Torment is like the only thing we have that can destroy an enchantment, because I don't put in there's a sorcery one that existed, but I will interact at instant speed or not interact at all. Baleful Mastery, Deadly Rollick, which we have 2 commanders, so as long as one of them's in play, we can cast it for free to exile a creature and drag to the underworld. So, so the first order of business is T equip O B blocked. Atomic Microsizer. Huh. Actually, I do like this. Okay, so equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. Doesn't have to be a different creature, it can be the one that's attacking. That creature cannot be blocked this turn and has base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn. Equip for 2. The reason why I like that is that commander damage is a thing. If you're not familiar with the concept of commander damage, it's that if you take 21 points of damage from a single commander, you lose the game. So if you lower the amount of damage that your commander is doing, they are less scared of your commander, because then it takes 11 hits to kill them, so they're less likely to be afraid of you while you're doing whatever your other game plan is. The downside of that is you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. But I do like this just on the concept of that if you just want to get in for damage with a creature and you don't care that it's 1 because you have an on combat damage to a player trigger, that's all you care about. So we're going to at least put that in the deck. Brotherhood Regalia, so it'll be a Spirit Pirate Assassin. Psychic Paper, Prowler's Helm. Wrecking Ball arm because that has interesting. Well, one, it turns Ramirez DePietro, which I know I'm probably slightly pronouncing that wrong, but I don't care, into an Elder Dragon, because then it's 3 attacks and you defeat a person. It also means they can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so now they can only be blocked by things that have greater than 3 or greater power and 2 or less toughness. That is very specific. And Whisper Silk Cloak. There's also the Battle Horns that says equipped creature has trample and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Just saying, that's a pretty good set of characteristics. So now we'll go. We don't want. Well, we want Shroud on one of our 2 things is fine. Oh, Neuralink Stealth Suit is good because it has the equip cost of 1, but if you pay 2 blue, you can equip as an instant. I know I normally do these all as one big group, but I actually like doing it. This is a new card that I'm not familiar with. When this equipment enters, attach to target creature you control. Oh, Hexproof until end of turn. They started doing that a lot, making these worse versions. And then just one more thing. Indister. So we'll do the Darksteel Plate, the Hammer of Nazan, Mithril Coat, but I think we're going to leave out Cauldron Complete this time. And then I am going to, I don't normally remember to do this, but we're going to put Whisper Silk Cloak over to Invasion. Although, you know what? Select all. Evasion is its own form of protection, so just putting all of that in one group. And then we'll put this over here. And we're going to put this here and that over there. And now we're just going to call it all gear. There. And that's all of that. And now we're at 83. So that's, and we haven't added no, we've added 1 creature over here in ramp. And we don't have any ways to discard stuff. So we probably went a little too hard over here. So maybe we should take out some things from over there. But before we do that, let's put in some ways to discard stuff. We'll take out the can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. I know I said I was going to do another thing first. And I think I'm going to take this out. I like both of those things, but in the face of I don't even have any creatures in this deck yet. No, I have 1 creature in this deck. Okay, so we have 1 creature in the deck, not counting our commanders. Now I'm going to put in creatures. So T creature order C MC, because that's just how I like to look at things. O. Okay, we're going to get a lot of creatures that want our opponents to discard, but I'm looking for stuff that makes us discard. Oh, so like a thing I normally don't like. Well, one, discarding is a thing I normally don't like, but that's neither here nor there. But looting, that's where you draw a card and discard a card. So we got to look through these. A lot of the black cards are going to make our opponents discard stuff. Oh, but we can also look for spell shapers like this. Discard a card, put a 2/2 black zombie into the battlefield. Tap 3 on tapped zombies you control and draw a card and lose a life. This Crypt Breaker, it probably doesn't have the... it doesn't have the spell shaper type, but that is such a spell shaper ability. I don't know if we'll run into any in here, although we probably will. I don't know if I'll remember to point them out. I don't really like this effect for how much it's doing, but +1/+1 first strike until end of turn ain't terrible, and it's also a cheap creature. And the nice thing is, we only really need to discard like one thing at a time. Unless we give Ramirez, DePietro double strike. Oh, Spell Shaper. The Spell Shapers were all actively bad, because this is just Howl from Beyond, but you gotta... because it turns spells into other spells. See, like, I could put this in, but I know that there's versions of this where you don't have to pay one for it. Draw a card, discard a card. There's ones that just tap to do that. Oh, this is actually good right here. It's actually worth the one. Draw a card and discard a card. When you discard a creature card this way, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. And so you can just put it right back into your hand. I am going to look to see if Jacob Fry does anything interesting for our deck. Since they have partner with... when this creature enters the battlefield, target player may put the other one into their hand from their library, then shuffle. So Jacob tutors for whatever the other guys. Lady. Evie. Yeah, Evie and Jacob can search for each other depending on who you find first. So Jacob Fry has, whenever one or more assassins you control deal combat damage to a player, exiled up to one assassin card or card with free roaming from your graveyard. If you do, copy it. You may cast the copy. That's hot garbage. That's never going to matter, but it is a creature. It's a free creature. It's a creature that does nothing unless we somehow get more assassins. But that's fine. And also he's a card in the deck that's basically a second copy of this. Even though he costs one more, but at least we'll tutor this to our hand, and we'll just have like a 3/2? Yeah. That people might be afraid of if they've never seen this deck before. Oh, discard a card to make this thing unblockable. There's also other good pieces of equipment that could be in this deck instead. See, but I don't want to put a Jason here, but see, he has it for free. Draw a card, discard a card. Oh, and so does this Otterball Elite. Draw a card, then discard a card. And also has this additional thing of copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose 2 targets for the copy. But you have to have made this Otter's power bigger to use that second one. But still, having this free draw discard effect is fine. Whenever we discard a card, we can pay 2 to amass. That's, you know, that whole zombie army thing. We're not doing that, though. Oh, draw a card, discard a card. Also has flying. And then pay X, Lifeless Lunar becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X. Except it has flying and this ability, activate only as a sorcery. See, so that's good. Lore Broker does it for everyone, but we don't want other people to do. Make Us of the Bar draws 2, discards 3. That's more discarding than I would like us to do. Merfolk Looter, the reason why it's called looting. And we want it to be repeatable, so I'm skipping over a lot that don't do it. Oh, this is Snow, which we didn't put any in the deck. Oof, Plague Witch. Oh, Rona, Herald of Invasion. Draw a card, discard a card, and then also we can transform it into something that's probably less interesting. Whenever a source deals... Hold on. Oh, we gotta flip it again. Whenever a source deals damage to Rona, Tolarian Obliterator, the source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put it in the battlefield under control. Otherwise, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. I don't like stealing stuff. But that's kind of the opponent's choice whether or not we get to do it. So I'm going to victim blame on that one. Yeah, I'm just going to have a bunch of creatures that make me discard cards. That's funny. Discard a creature card specifically. We might skip over that one. Seeker of Insight, draw a card, discard a card, activate only if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn. That's actually very likely. But you know what? I don't use the maybe board very often anymore. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Considering the nature of our deck, Sinbad over here is actually pretty good. Draw a card, reveal it. If it isn't a land, just discard it. So we either draw... I mean, sure, we're not automatically discarding a card, but considering our plans, it's still fine. Once we run out of these, there are other things that can go into this deck. Discard a card. Put a 1/1 black zombie goblin trick coach in play. Oh, it's Festering Goblin. Okay. Nope, because it costs... That costs 2 lands. The heck with that. Draw a card, discard a card. These are not very strong creatures either, so... So we're definitely going to want to put, like, better stuff in the deck. Oh, this is very interesting. This spell Sheppard, the Undertaker. Pay 1 black, tap, discard a card, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I like that. Like, we're dead to, was it End the Festivities? That one with all the wolves on it that does 1 damage to all creatures. Draw a card and discard a card. If you discard an instant or sorcery this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. And then it can also be... you can also sacrifice it to cast an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. I like that. Oh, discard a card to bounce a creature. I don't hate that. You can come to the party. Target creature gains flying until end of turn? Nah. Defender and haste. Thank you, Bondage Fetch. Oh, Bog Witch. Yeah, we'll discard a card for Dark Ritual. Turn any card into Dark Ritual. Target player draws a card, then discards a card. I should have done this in CMC order. Which, oh, I did, didn't I? I was about to say, maybe I don't want these ones that cost 3 as much. Yeah, let's see where we are on this. We're at 96. We're going to maybe board this Bonded Fetch. And also maybe board the Bog Witch. And then I'm going to put everything... I was about to say, I was going to put everything that lets me discard a card. Yeah, I like First Strike. Especially if you make this guy's... Especially since a whole lot of combat tricks aren't all that common in Commander, in my experience. Limited experience, admittedly, but giving him First Strike, since he has to be blocked by things he can defeat anyway. Yeah, I do like this. So the other 6 creatures are going to probably try to... I'm trying to make them good creatures. But I'll keep my maybe board. And I don't think I'm going to go that much deeper on this. I mean, I might as well, but I think 3 is the end. Oh, maybe board this one. Because now they're not really just... They're not really doing the thing anymore. discard a non-black card to draw a card. But then discard a black card, draw 2 cards, discard one of them. See, that's discarding too many cards for our plan. Oh, the Mardu Outrider has additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, but it's just a 5/5 for 3. If it actually did something, that might be interesting. When I get to the end of 3, that's when I'm going to stop this. Oh, Obsessive Stitcher. Yeah, beginning of our upkeep, discard a card for a 7/6. I like that. Because what's his face just cares about this turn. Because, yeah, we don't really need... I think I said this before, but we really don't need to discard more than 1 card a turn. Because I don't think I've put... I don't know if we even can get Double Strike into this deck. And even if we did, we wouldn't get that much of it. Yeah, now we're on 4. So there's this card that came out recently. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. Activates only as a sorcery. This gets cards out of our graveyard. Because that's the other thing that we need to do. We need other things that get cards out of our graveyard besides DePietro. Well, need is a strong word. But it would be nice if that's what we did. I think I'm still going to keep the Shadowbreaker. I'll keep the Regalia. Let's see, I think I'm going to drop the Greaves. Things with Death Touch tend to be within this specific wheelhouse of less than 3 toughness. So the Mirror Shield makes sense. I think I'm going to get rid of the Swiftfoot Boots. And the Champion Helm. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the hexproof stuff, but not the indestructible stuff. I still like the Wrecking Ball arm just for that, like, specific... the making people think, oh, do I have all of... do I have something that has 3 or more attack or 2 or less, 2 or 1 defense? The idea of Ramirez DePietro being just that picky on his you know what? We're going to put you into discard. There we go. Just him being that picky amuses me. gives trample. Oh, I guess I'm keeping this. No, we're going to get rid of that too. There we go. So we have one piece of hexproof mostly because it protects against death touch other creatures. And then the rest of that is just focusing on staying alive normally. Yeah, indestructible and can't be blocked. That's what's staying. And it puts us down to 10 pieces of gear, which makes me slightly happier, I guess. So now we have room for 9 more creatures to do stuff with. This means they have no abilities. But that might not be bad. I'm actually for these last 9. I actually am going to go here just to see what other people think. Oh, stuff about zombies. Oh, Sir Conrad the Grim. I get it. Because it damages people. Oh, and then also, but it mills everybody. I'm not a fan of that part. But whenever a creature card is put into a graveyard or leaves our graveyard, it deals none to end damage to everyone. I am going to dodge that, actually. Cast this card from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. That makes sense. Skeletons and zombies get +1/+1 and have death touch. I mean, we could go in that direction and fill the rest of it up with like all of the zombie boosters. Let's T creature O zombies O +1. Let's see how many of these things there are. There are 7. I mean, sure. Why not? Let's be slightly boring just to kind of get on with it. I mean, may as well make those zombies that we're making better. So that gives us 2 more spots. And also, we can pay 1 to make a skeleton if something died on our turn. This one also makes zombies for the, 12 total crimes we can commit? Oh, 12 one-time crimes and 1 repeatable crime. The way I'm looking at it now, I don't need my need these specific cards from my maybe board. So we have room for 2 more. That wasn't whoops, I went to artifacts. I don't care about that. Creatures. We're going to hit search again, because it'll take off all of those other things. Whenever this creature or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and lose a life. Okay. Oh, this says zombie creatures, so there we go. Missed that one. Oh, skeleton crew to make a DePietro stronger. Oh, and it also has the whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, you get a skeleton. Okay, yeah, no, skeleton crew. I'm glad I checked. That's how did this not make it into the deck? All zombies get +1/+1. And then you can also return zombies from our graveyard to our hand. We're not like scarab gutting. So we are getting rid of some of our looter effects for these other things. I'm just double checking. T creature. O. Oops. B or O. Actually, just do O zombie. O +1. Whoops. Other zombie creatures you control. Yep, see, I knew there was going to be more that I missed. Other zombies. Other zombies again. Oh, and this makes my zombies cheaper. And also gives them a big boost. Makes me feel like I'm missing one. The one that, oh. It's because it's the Zombie Master. But we're not putting in this one. So let's go back over here. We're 5 over. We're going to get rid of some of our discard effects. So what do we got? See, did I already get rid of the one that gives flying? We're going to get rid of the bounce one. We're going to get rid of the otter. We're keeping the first strike. We're going to get rid of the Register. I liked him for the joke, but we'd rather keep the ones that we get stuff from. We're going to get rid of the Desecrator. So one more. This one can't be blocked. This puts zombies into play. Maybe this Phyrexian. Yeah, let's get rid of the Phyrexian. That might make people worried. So now we just have 3 Merfolk looters that are basically the same thing. In fact, 2 of them are humans. I don't know if Sinbad has a job on top of being a human. Nope. Not even like a sailor or anything. And then this one that can turn into other stuff. Not that we have a whole lot of other stuff we'd want it to turn into. But there we go. We now officially cared about both halves of the thing. Like, Tormod ain't making a whole lot of zombies, let's be honest. But I think we did a thing. We have like 1 useless garbage card in here. But that's fine. I guess it's not useless when its job is to find this. But whatever. I like where we went with that. Let's do our usual. Our new usual, I guess. And then redo our basics. I could do Dominaria United again, but I am going to look around a slight bit more. Wasn't there another one? Could have swore it was Assassin's Creed, but I might be thinking of Fallout. I'll know it when I see it. Or maybe I won't, because I'm definitely sure we already passed it. I do like the Streets of New Capenna one. I like the vibes of it. And then now the swamp. We're going to have a Liliana cameo for our swamps, even though they're $2.50. There we go. I'm going to make a note really quick. There we go. And those of you who are observant might have noticed that Children of the Grave and Rock the Casbah are both musical references. And, you know, Children of the Grave, those are zombies. And Rock the Casbah is a song by The Clash. And that brings us to our commander. Marvo, Deep Operative. I saw this guy and was like, or lady or whatever, this murder octopus. Hold on, drinking some water. So what do we got here? 3 blue back for 1/8. Whenever Marvo Deep Operative attacks, clash with defending player. And what does that mean? Each clashing player reveals the top card of their library, and then puts that card on the top or bottom. A player wins if their card had the higher mana value. Whenever you win a clash, draw a card. Then you may cast a spell from your hand with mana value 8 or less without paying its mana cost. So, free spells of mana value 8 or less, as long as our spell was higher mana value than our opponent's spell. There goes my mouse again. Anyway, yeah, no, I thought that was neat. And so we have our usual stuff. A lot of it not very expensive. All of it exactly the same as the other one when we started. Except I don't need Mystic Sanctuary. And I don't need Witch's Cottage. So we need to replace those with other things. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. So let's see. We could put in this, but I don't really like this because it's a land that does nothing by itself. So it's just really bad to see in your opening hand. And you'll have to excuse me. My legs are rejecting being connected to my body right now. So we'll put in the Sunken Ruins. And honestly, the River of Tears just to amuse myself. Rivers of Tears is just a weird card that I'm glad that they never continued this cycle because it was just bad. So it's add blue, or if you played a landless turn, you can add black instead. It doesn't come into play tapped, and that's all that really matters. So it means wait, that means, hold on. That the turn it comes into play, it taps for black. And then any turn after that, it can tap for blue, at least until you play a land. That is some wild stuff. That hadn't occurred to me before. I never put a whole lot of thought into it. So the rest of this deck, honestly, is going to be as high of mana value stuff as we feel we can get away with, because we have 66 spots left. Because we have our 12 pieces of removal, 14 pieces of mass disruption. Although we're probably going to see a lot of the same stuff that I probably should have just left in this deck. I probably should have just copied from the previous deck all of the unblockable stuff, but we're just going to put it back in manually. T, equip, O, B, blocked. We don't want that, because we want to keep... Wait, it doesn't matter if he's blocked or not, huh? He has an 8 toughness. So B blocked is not actually as important as indestructible. So Darksteel Plate, Hammer of Nazahan, Shadow Spear for unrelated reasons, Mystical Crow. We'll even put in the Cauldron Complete. Why not? And then good old Hexproof. We're going in that direction with this one. And especially this, because with our giant Badonk, we don't want people getting through it just because they have Death Touch. I was thinking about Shroud, but yeah. I guess I have a different opinion than my friend who doesn't like Hexproof, in that I would like very much to target my own things. And I am going to move the mouse from my other computer up over here so it stops doing that. But now we want a bunch of expensive spells with mana value 8 or less. Actually, I can think of some funny stuff that we can put in right here. Destroy. Argentum armor, you know, we're just going back to some Ultima weapon. Go back to some old staples that I just remember having fun with. Oh, Argentum Masticore is actually kind of good for DePietro, huh? At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this unless you discard a card. When you discard a card this way, destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card. Yeah, sorry, we're just going to go back up. We're going to do this. We're going to reopen this. B blocked is still good. You know what? We're gonna. Sorry, Jacob. It's just funny. I'm like, I really wanted you to be in this deck, but. Protection from multicolored is also hilarious. All Masticores want you to discard cards, by the way. There's also the Razor main Vasticore, the one that lightning bolts creatures. So, yeah, we're still at 100. Another piece of removal. The Masticore isn't going in this deck, but it was a much more interesting choice for the other deck. Noxious Gear Hulk. We don't get to put that in a deck very often. The Spine of Ichsa is not going in here because we're not going to be blinking it or sacrificing it or anything. There we go. Got all of that. That was cool. We still have 20 more spots left. Type. We have 4 creatures, so we want more creatures. Yay, more removal. Funny is that I don't need Bitter Triumph in same in this deck, but we can just pay the 3 life if we don't want to discard anything. Let's hit up EDH to see if it gives us any ideas. We want creatures. We're not doing Hullbreaker Horror. Myosian of Cryptic Dreams. Oh, that is actually very interesting. It costs exactly 8. Oh, Spark Devil, sure. Massacre Worm, sure. Oh, this bounces stuff when we cast stuff with mana value 6 or greater. I don't know how many 6 or greaters we're going to be casting, but that's great. But this thing is indestructible, but we can remove that indestructible counter to copy a permanent spell 3 times. I like that. I want that. Spark Double makes a second one of our commander. Oh, we could put in Vile Duplication as well. And the other one. But we're going to want, what does Star Whale do? Other creatures you control have Ward 2. But it also has Suspend. But we won't be paying it for its Suspend. I don't care about other things that have Clash. Oh, Nezahal, Primal Tide. No maximum hand size, and whenever opponent casts a non-creature spell, draw a card. Oh, the chair. To get 2 to make us clash twice. Oh, stealing cards from other people's graveyards. Stealing from their hand is not cool, though. Oh, the Altan Soldier, because it can come in as a clone. That makes other people discard. Oh, Twilight Prophet. This is just a card that I love. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, which means you have at least at one point in the game had 10 or more permanents in play, you reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is that card's mana value. Toxil the Corrosive. We're not really doing with Sphinx of the Second Sun. Toxrill is evil, and I don't think that's what I want to do in this deck. Jin-Gitaxias Progress Titan is also kind of mean. Oh, Ancient Silver Dragon, of course. Shieldred the Whispering one, of course. That reminds me, even though, yeah, no, that costs 1 more than I want to put in this deck. I was about to say that we would summon Bahamut, but that's 9. How much is the Ancient Brass Dragon? 5, 6, 7. Boom, right there. Go by time. We're at 16. I do want at least 4 more. You know, let's dump Cone of Cold. That gives us more room. How many spells have mana value 8? Only 98. Of mana value exactly 8. Oh, we can steal a bunch of stuff from people's graveyards. Let's see. It's funny that it's like big stupid stuff that you can get for much less than its asking price. Feels less big and stupid. Oh, some other Myojins. Indestructible. Okay, that's this turn. That doesn't. Nope, okay. Neither of those were very interesting. Nope. Platinum Empyrean, just to mess with people. Pestilence Demon. I just realized Toxic Deluge is pretty fine in this deck because my commander has 8 toughness. Sorry, the Stormtide Leviathan is funny as heck. All lands are islands in addition to their other types. Creatures without flying or island walk can't attack. Our commander doesn't have island walk, and we have no way to give it island walk. But that's funny. Whenever you cast a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Sure, why not? We're casting spells for free, right? Yep. I remember causing someone to lose the game because they had Village Broken Blood out and I had like Underworld Dreams out. Villa says whenever you lose life you draw that many cards, and Underworld Dream says whenever an opponent draws cards they lose life. So yeah, it was just a case of oh, hey look, drawing 3 cards for free. Like, I know this thing's an unblockable 6/6, but I don't know. I'm trying to look for stuff that does more interesting stuff. So that was an 8. How about 7? And we do need 8 more cards. Good old Chroma's Memorial. Oh, that's just fun. Baneful Omen, that actually kind of fits in this deck. At the beginning of your end step, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value. I do feel like I should probably have way more ramp in this deck, though. Oh, like Chromatic Orrery. Because, like, we would end up with a handful of cards we can't cast. Boy, I remember thinking, Ebony Rhyma, well, at least it has Trample. 7 mana for a 4/5? Man, creatures used to be stinky. The Iron Giant, it has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. That does make it just a solid creature. I do feel compelled to make noise while I'm doing this. Like, even though I'm super busy thinking. It's like, oh, like, I'm recording this. People should probably hear my voice more. Ugh. Well, we're definitely casting it from our hand. We're just casting her for free. Oh, sure, the Pinnacle Kill Ship. I forgot about this thing. When it enters, it deals 10 damage to up to one creature. Sure, why not? That gets rid of most things. And then you can make it into a flying creature. I made myself yawn. Oh, you know what Scour from Existence is? It doesn't say cast permanent spell or cast a creature spell. It just says cast a spell from your hand with mana of 8 or less. So there we go with that. Even though it's an Eldrazi, and I hate Eldrazi, this one is, at least it doesn't have Annihilator. So you know what? You get a pass, Sire, 7 deaths, because you don't do the most annoying of all of the things. And you don't fly, so instead you have reach, so that's cool. Super State, because that's because we may as well do decent damage with our octopus. Sometimes when I see a Jacoba, I get surprised, and I'm like, oh yeah, those are in the game now. Oh, Virtue of Persistence, yeah, okay, yep. Just in case we have to discard the hand size. I could have swore that it was a lot less expensive of a card. Is this thing technically 9 for the purposes of Clash? Or do we only count one part of it, the most expensive part? That's a good question. I know for like the split and the fuse cards and all that stuff, it like counts both for as far as mana cost goes. Oh, we're at 101. We got to remove one thing. Man, that's rough. You know what? We're going to remove Bitter Triumph. Remove one of the less expensive things. Though this deck probably should have a lot more ramp in it. Just because we're gonna end up with a handful of garbage that we can't cast. But you know what? That's half the fun, I guess. Go up here, optimize our printings, show them all, redo all 35, then go over here and what can we do for our octopus friend? Our octopus friend can be friends with this thing. For our swamp. Definitely don't want polluted water, tell you that much. Oh, here we go. The dinosaurs again. Because they're in the water. Look at that. That's what happens sometimes. Okay. So that was that deck. That was fun. Probably not a good deck. But that's the kind of, like, you know, that triggers the neurons kind of thing more than it's actually any good. So this is a deck that built itself. It's called Madness, which is the name of a band, for the record. So, Anje Falkenrath. She's 1, a black and a red for a 1/3 vampire with no job. She's not even a noble. Right? They didn't, like, update her. Nope, she is a jobless bum of a vampire. She has haste, which is handy because she has rummage. This is the opposite of, or the inverse of looting, where you discard first, then you draw a card. Whenever you discard a guard, if it had Madness, which is an ability, or a keyword, or whatever, you untap Anje Falkenrath so you can do it again. I put all the Madness cards into one section, so we'll get to them when we get to them. Passionate Archaeologist. Commander creatures you own have, whenever you cast a spell from exile, this creature deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to target opponent. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Keeper of Secrets does damage equal to that spell's mana value to target opponent. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, Flaming Tyrannosaurus deals 3 damage to any target. Then put a +1/+1 counter on Flaming Tyrannosaurus. He has Menace, by the way. When Flaming Tyrannosaurus dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent, so that's neat. He is also 7 mana, so, like, he's not coming down early. He's definitely aspirational, but he's also a Flaming Tyrannosaurus. Just saying. Now Feshni. Hoof. It flies, believe it or not. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, copy it. You may choose new targets from the copy. If it's a permanent spell, the copy gains haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this permanent, so you don't get to keep it. Land's Edge. Man, I'm so glad I built this deck. What's funny is that the original, I had a Land's Edge deck back in the day, but it was red and white because I'd use Circle of Protection red to protect myself from other people using Land's Edge. So, at the beginning, any player may choose and discard a card from their hand at any time. Anytime. No reason. You're just like, oh, I don't want this card in my hand anymore. Bloop. It should be stated that it is an enchant world. That is a very specific type of enchantment. Only one enchant world can be in play at any time. If someone else plays Concordant Crossroads, Land's Edge goes away. If a player discards a land card, it doesn't have to be to Land's Edge. It's just that if you just so happen to discard a land card, Land's Edge deals 2 damage to target player of that player's choice. Chainer, Nightmare of Death. Discard a card. You may cast a creature card from your graveyard this turn. Activate only once each turn. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste until end of turn. Ceremonial Knife. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever this creature deals combat damage, create a blood token. A blood token is an artifact that says 1 tap, discard a card, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. And it equips for 2. Evora, Insatiable Air. My tongue was itchy for some reason, so I scratched it on my teeth. Anyway, when has Trample and is a 1/1. When Evora, Insatiable Air enters and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. Whenever you discard a card, you put a +1/+1 counter on Evora. Monument to Endurance. Whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Draw a card, or create a Tedrick token, or each opponent loses 3 life. So you get up to 3 things, each one once. Olivia's Attendants. They have Menace. Well, there are 3 of them. Whenever Olivia Attendants deal damage, create that many blood tokens. Then you can pay 200 red to have them deal 1 damage to any target. And then we have our land section. Arena of Glory can give a thing haste. Which doesn't matter for our commander, but matters for everything else. And then a lot of things that look similar to other things, just in different color pairs. There's the basics I decided to use. There's the other basics. They're the ones from Duskmourn, the Haunted House set, which was a neat set. I didn't dislike it as much as other people did. But I understand that they didn't like there being like TVs and sneakers and cheerleaders, but I'm like, whatever, don't care. Blazing Root Walla. This This is a card with madness, so now we're going to read the important part. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its madness cost or put it into your graveyard. So all of those things that we passed by suddenly make sense. If when you cast a card, when you cast a spell from exile, or when you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand. And this does both of those things because exile is not from our hand. What it does is not important. It's a 1/1 for 1 that can become a 3/1 for an extra mana per each turn. Doesn't matter. Madness cost is 0, so if you discard it, you can play it for free. Asylum Visitor. Its madness cost is exactly equal to its mana value. And I don't think its madness cost is its mana value for those things that care about mana value. I think it specifically cares about the numbers and pips in the upper right. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, we get to draw a card and lose a life. We're not making other people discard, but, you know, we're discarding our own stuff. Senseless Rage, enchant creature, gets +2/+2, and its madness is exactly equal to its regular casting. Alms of the Vein, madness of 1, target opponent loses 3 life, we gain 3 life. So nice little drain effect. I don't like vampires. This is the exact reason why I don't like vampires. I don't like needles and I don't like bitey things. And they are bitey things with needle teeth. Madness 1, Big Game Hunter. When Big Game Hunter enters the battlefield, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Can't be regenerated. Nice. Blood Mad Vampire. It is slightly cheaper for madness. And then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it gets a +1/+1 counter. It's a 4/1, so that's unlikely to happen. But hey, it can block Ramirez DePietro. It won't live, but it can do the block. Fiery Temper. It deals 3 damage to any target, and it's an instant. And it's basically a lightning bolt, even though it's fire and not lightning specifically. If you discard the card. Markov Baron. Wow, my brain just didn't feel like telling the truth right there. It has Convoke, so you can tap creatures to pay for it normally. I don't know if you can Convoke for the madness, but its madness cost is otherwise the same cost as its regular cost, and other vampires get +1/+1. Well, our commander's a vampire, but we're probably not attacking with her. There are other vampires in here because madness was a Innistrad vampire thing. Scophos Reaver. Madness is slightly cheaper. As long as it's your turn, this thing's a 4/3. Stenzia Masquerade. Attacking creatures you control have first strike. That's neat. Whenever a vampire you control deals combat damage to a player, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Neat. Stormkirk Occultist. Slightly cheaper madness cost. It has Trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. Until end of the current turn, you may play that card. Not a fan of that short of notice, but you can just not attack with it, honestly, and just let that trample go to waste. Blood Boil Sorcerer. That sounds awful. It's half the price for its madness cost. Shaves off 2 generic mana. When it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. You know everybody loves the initiative. Bloodhall Priest. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, if you have no cards in hand, this creature deals 2 damage to any target, and it costs slightly less for madness. Brain Gorgers. When you cast Brain Gorgers, any player may sacrifice a creature. If that player does counter Brain Gorgers, and it's also half the price for Madness. Way back in Rakdos week, I do believe I had Brain Gorgers in my Anje Poor Life Choices deck. So you'd much rather play this for its Madness cost just to see if someone sacrifices a creature to counter it. Gisa's Bidding, a little bit cheaper for Madness. Create 2 zombies. Grave Scrabbler. Again, a nice discount for Madness. When it enters the battlefield, if it was cast from Madness, you may return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, from a graveyard to its owner's hand, so it's not even your own. You can do someone else a favor if you want. Hell Mongrel. Discard a card. Hell Mongrel gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So this is another nice free discard outlet if you just want to discard cards. And then it's slightly cheaper for Madness. Insatiable Gorgers. Attacks each combat if able, and it costs the exact same for Madness. They just moved 1 red pip into a generic mana. Oh, and it has a quote by Anje Falkenrath. Kitchen Imp, Flying Haste, Madness for 1, very nice. Terminal Agony. It shaves off all of the generic mana. And that, man, that is a metal, like, album cover. Destroy target creature. Weirded Vampire. Slightly cheaper for Madness, and it's just a 3/3. Gorgon Recluse. Whenever Gorgon Recluse blocks or becomes blocked by a non-cracked black creature, destroy that creature at the end of combat. And it shaves off all of the generic mana for the Madness cost. Very nice. Incorrigible Youths. A bit cheaper for its Madness cost, and it has haste. Muck Drub. When Muck Drub enters the battlefield, change the target of target spell that targets only a single creature to Muck Drub. So you can, and it costs it costs quite a bit less for its Madness, and it has Flash, so you can cast it at instant speed to steal a combat trick or an aura. Which I know I'm like not big on stealing other people's stuff, but for you people who think stealing is based in Magic the Gathering, this is a cool card. And ow, that hurt. Hold on. One of my fingernails was like, it's time to be trimmed. Stupid. So I'm going to have you jab me into yourself. Anyway, Reckless Worm. It has trample and costs a good amount less for its Madness, and it's a 4/4. And look at that. Twins of Maurin's Estate. Costs 3 instead of 5 for Madness, and it's a 3/5. Voldaren Pariah. It's turns all of its generic mana into an additional black pip for its Madness, and then if we sacrifice 3 of the creatures, we can transform it into Abolisher of Bloodlines. So it's another Eldrazi that gets a pass. When this creature transforms into Abolisher of Bloodlines, target opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. That's pretty awful, but it doesn't have Annihilator, so that's kind of fine. Revolutionist. When Revolutionist enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and it has Madness of costing 4 instead of 6. The Archfiend of Spite. I believe this was also... No, this wasn't in Zanja, but this was in another deck where I wanted people to lose more life, and I think it was on the show, I just don't remember when. It normally costs 7, but its madness is 5. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to Archfiend of Spite, that source's controller loses that much life, unless they sacrifice that many permanents. It's a variation. Well, I think it came out first, but it's like the Phyrexian, not the Vindicator, Obliterator. You know, the one that costs 4 black and makes your opponent sacrifice stuff when it's dealt damage. This one gives it the option of losing life instead. Shadowgrange Arcfiend. When Shadowgrange Arcfiend enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. You gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures sacrificed this way. And then it normally costs 7, but you can madness it for 3 and 8 life. Ugh. Probably not the one we want to madness the most, but it's there. It's an option. Then we go back to the normal stuff. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Cold Steel Heart, Felwar Stone, Fire Diamond, Mind Stone, Rakdos Signet, Talisman of Indulgence, Solemn Simulacrum, Shattering Spree, Vandal Blast, Bitter Triumph, Go for the Throat, Infernal Grasp, Mizium Mortars, Terminate, Archenemy's Charm, Delayed Blast Fireball, Overkill. Oh, that's the thing I kind of neglected to put into the 2 Dimir decks, but oh well. Baleful Mastery, Drag to the Underworld. I like this deck mostly for Land's Edge, and the other thing that is also Land's Edge. It's this dog. That's just like, I can discard this card whenever I want. Chainer 2, I guess, even though you can only do it once a turn. But, yeah, no, that's deck. How much? 138, that's good enough. Next, whoops, that is not the correct window. Next week is Gruul. And then after that, it looks like it's Selesnya and Orzhov. And then after that will be Izzet and Golgari. And then Boros and Simic and maybe Esper. Then, oh, come on, I know this one. Grixis, Jund, Nea. There's a Banton here. A Mardu. An additional Teamer of all things. And then this special, one more 4 color 1. Because on Muldown's stream, he reviewed a deck that was based around the fishing pole, and I wanted to do my own version of that. So that's how we're going to cap this off, with my own version of Gone Fishing way down at the end. It's already 100% built, so it's going to be on the Teamer Bant Mardu Day. You can look forward to that in the future. See you then.